All right, we can start now. It's recording.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Amy Masters. I'm the Assistant Director of Financial Aid at Genesee Community College. I hope everyone is well. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about financial aid and what that means and what type of applications you'll be filing. So there's a lot of misinformation about financial aid. A lot of misinformation about financial aid, and I want to try to dispel some of that just up front. So we're going to play a little game called Two Truths and a Lie. So there's three statements in front of you. Two of the statements are truth and one is a lie. So let's get started. You need to wait until you're accepted to the college before you can apply for financial aid. Statement two, the first F in FAFSA stands for free. And three, you need to be full-time to receive New York State TAP. I'll give you a minute to think about which one might be the lie. If you guessed that you needed to wait until you're accepted to the college before you can apply for financial aid, you are correct. The government allows you to apply for financial aid before you've selected the institution that you're going to attend. You can start applying for the FAFSA as early as October 1st for the upcoming year. The first F in FAFSA, in fact, does stand for free. The federal application you will file is the free application for federal student aid. And then you do need to be full-time to receive New York State TAP. If you're a New York State resident, you must maintain at least 12 credit hours to obtain this grant. So what does the financial aid office do in all of this? Well, our role has definitely shifted with COVID-19 and workplace density limits. What we can still help you with is completing and submitting aid applications. So we will still take questions from our students. While we can't sit with you in person, we are happy to help you virtually. We counsel students on student loans and student loan eligibility. There have been a lot of changes to the student loan program in the wake of COVID-19. So we encourage students to get that information and feel free to contact us with any questions that they may have. We answer eligibility questions. Not all students qualify for the same amount of aid. So it's very important that if you have questions about what you qualify for, that you ask us and we'll be able to walk you through why you qualify for what you qualify for. We also help process verification for the Department of Education. So similar to the IRS, when you file your taxes and then you get audited, there's a similar process for financial aid. About 30% of students every academic year are selected for the verification process. What we verify in this case is household size, number of people in college in the household, and we also will look at federal income taxes. So if you're selected for this process, we'll send you worksheets and we will also ask for copies of a tax return transcript or copies of a signed tax return for the IRS year that we're looking at. We also will assist with veterans benefits. We have two VA staff on staff, two people that will assist with VA benefits. And then we also administer institutional applications. So on top of federal and state aid that you may qualify for, we also have institutional scholarships that we encourage all students to apply. So as I said, every year starting October 1st, you could start applying for federal and state aid. You're encouraged to do this your senior year of high school all the way through when you graduate college. Apply early, apply as soon as possible. The different types of aid that you will apply for are both federal, which again is the FAFSA, state, which will be your New York State Tuition Assistance Program if you're in New York State, and then local. Local would be your scholarships. So if you're a high school senior, going to your guidance office, there are different local scholarships available. Or if you know what college you're going to, you can look at the different institutional scholarships that they may have as well. Now the different forms of aid, because not all aid is the same. First and foremost are the grants. Grants do not need to be repaid. So this is the one that everybody wants. This is money that's essentially that free money that you get without having to repay. Loans are just that, loans. They will need to be repaid with interest. Scholarships. Again, there could be scholarships at both federal, state, and local levels. Just so you're aware that they may have restrictions that are different than the restrictions that you see for federal and state grant. And then there's work study. Work study are the jobs on campus that is paid for by the Department of Ed. It is important to note that we have more students that qualify for work study than we have jobs available. So if you know you're going to want to have a job on campus, you may want to apply early again. So what applications do you file to qualify for this aid? Again, and I cannot stress this enough, the first is the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So that again is your federal program, and that's done at fafsa.gov. I want to take a brief moment to mention that the federal and state applications are applied for at .gov addresses. If you are on a .com, a .net, or a .org, you are on the wrong website. There are fraudulent websites out there that will charge you to file a FAFSA. At no point should you be paying to file a FAFSA or TAP application. The second is the New York State TAP application. Again, New York State Tuition Assistance Program. The easiest way to link to this application is at the end of your FAFSA. If for some reason you skip it, you can always go to hesc.ny.gov and complete the application there. Please be aware it typically takes 2 weeks from the time you file a FAFSA until a TAP application will be ready for you if you do not link directly from the FAFSA. And then of course the institutional scholarships. We encourage all students that are thinking about coming to Genesee Community College to apply for institutional scholarships. They are not just limited to students in the GLOW area. We have recruitment scholarships for students that are out of state. We have different scholarships for different programs. So we encourage students to look at our institutional scholarships. We have about 60 right now on campus. Just so you're aware, applications are due by June 1st for the upcoming fall semester. And we do run a spring round that starts September 1st. So you're gonna sit down and do your applications. What documents do you need? Well, for 2021, you will start with 2018 tax information. You're going to want to have available both federal and state. Federal will be to file the FAFSA, state will be to file the New York State TAP application. One thing families don't think to have on hand is the balance of cash, savings, and checking. That is a question on the FAFSA. You don't need to go back months or weeks in time. You just need to know it as of the date that you file. The reason being is the FAFSA is a snapshot in time. So they're looking at the day that you file. What would you have on hand? What is your income on that date? What type of resources do you have? Some untaxed income that you may want to be prepared for that would not be included on your tax return would be child support. Whether you paid or received child support in 2018 would be required on the form. Workers' compensation. Workers' compensation is also not included on your tax return, and that would be something else that you'd want to include. Another item that we have frequently is veterans non-education benefits. You want to make sure that if you are receiving veterans non-education benefits, that you have the amount of that for 2018 and report it accordingly. So you fill out these applications. What are you going to get? So on the FAFSA, they're going to determine first and foremost if you're eligible for a Pell Grant. Again, the Pell Grant is the grant that everybody wants. You have to be financially needy in order to obtain it. There is a range though. So depending on what you qualify for, you may receive nothing, but you could receive as much as $6,345 for the upcoming year. It is an entitlement program, so if you qualify, you receive it. The second type of grant that you may qualify for is SEOG, which is the Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant. SEOG is a little different than Pell. SEOG, you are allowed, the college is given so much money every year, and then we distribute it amongst the qualified students. This again is why it's so important to file early. If you are a particularly needy student, we will be giving you SEOG money. But once it runs out, we can't fund anymore. So it's so important to get your FAFSA filed early so that we can determine upfront if you qualify and then give you that funding. Next is student loans. So if you qualify for a student loan, that will be processed through the Department of Ed. Student loans, typically you qualify for student loans just by being a student. You do have to continue to make academic progress in order to maintain loans, and you cannot be in default of a student loan to get a student loan. And then of course, the New York State Tuition Assistance Program, you're applying for the TAP grant. Again, it's an income-based qualification, so they'll look at your household size, anyone else that's in college, and of course, your income. So just a few helpful hints to get you through. Apply for financial aid early. If you know you're going to be attending college, but not sure which college to attend, still apply for the FAFSA. You can put up to 10 schools on the FAFSA. Please be aware that TAP only allows you one college on the FAFSA, but you can always change that at any given time through your TAP account. Check your mail and check your email. Do not ignore communication from the college. It is so important, especially during this time where aid programs are changing and there's a lot of information out there. Please be checking everything. You could get information such as you were selected for verification. If you don't complete that process, you won't be eligible for aid. So make sure that anything you're getting, you're responding to. And then of course, if you don't know, ask. Financial aid is not an intuitive process. That's why we have financial aid counselors and financial aid staff to help you. So if you have questions, feel free to contact us. So how do you do that? During this time, the easiest way to contact the financial aid office is at financialaid@genesee.edu. Again, that's financialaid@genesee.edu. We are complying with New York State workplace density limits, so we do not have people on hand right now. However, both of our secretaries do have access to the phone system, so you're welcome to give us a call if you have questions. We are still checking our fax and mail weekly. So to send in your documents, please feel free to fax them to 585-343-6726. And then of course the mail at 1 College Road, Batavia, New York, 14020. Even though we're not on campus and can't see you in person at this time, we're still happy to help. I cannot emphasize that enough. So please, any questions, feel free to email us at financialaid@genesee.edu. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe and stay well.